Have you ever wanted to see a house that is not open to the public? Hi everyone, Ken here. Welcome to this house. Today we are in Tower Grove Park in St. Louis, Missouri, exploring an Italian villa-style house that was built in the 1860s. Let's take a quick look around outside, and then we're going to go explore. Entering the home, we arrive in the vestibule. The foyer is off to this side, and the dining room is straight ahead. But before we head on exploring, let's check out some of the amazing details in this space. If we look down, the floors are mosaic tile work with alternating red and blue tiles. And off to this side is a window that looks out over the side porch. Now, these encasements contain plantation shutters, which can be pulled out to provide privacy. Continuing on from the vestibule, we are going to head into the stair hall. So come on through these double doors and let's start taking a look around. These stairs rise up to the second floor, and we're going to see more of the details on the landing whenever we do go up there. In the meantime, let's pay special attention to some of these finer details, such as how the banister curves into the oversized newel post and the milled spindles that continue all the way up the stairs. Now, if you come around to this side and take a look, there is millwork that finishes out the side of the steps before they begin to float above us. Continuing towards the front of the house, we are going to arrive in the music room, but first let's take a moment to pause and look at this encasement. I wonder how many wires of brick are actually hidden between here, because I believe this might be the thickest interior wall we have ever seen while exploring a residential home. Enough about that. Let's come on in here and start taking a look around. As we look out, we can see a giant bay window that looks out over Magnolia, and there are two windows to either side, which allow even more light to flood in. Suspended above me in the very center of the space is a crystal chandelier, and let's take a moment to see this because the metalwork on here is incredibly intricate. Now, as we bring our focus back down, our eyes rest on a fireplace, and this is made of solid marble and still has its summer cover on it. And the patinaed mirror directly above the fireplace just really adds to the overall aesthetic. Walking now out of the music room, we are going to cut back to the vestibule, and this is going to take us to the dining room. And in this space, we are going to find unpainted millwork. We can just go ahead and look out across this room to see the marble fireplace, the large windows, which also have those built-in plantation shutters that pull out from the sides. And as we bring our attention back to this side of the room, we can see this large built-in hutch underneath an arch with all of these different cabinets, including diamond pane glass to show off some of your books and finer dinnerware. Continuing now to the parlor, we walk into this space and the wallpaper is very telling about the views that we'll see. So if we head over here towards these large French doors, we can now look out over the back garden. When this house was originally built, it was planned to be the first villa as a display home to sell the idea that large villas like this should completely surround the park as they do in Europe. So 200 feet width lots were set aside surrounding Tower Grove Park originally, which would have housed these large homes. However, that dream did not pan out, and the city ended up acquiring those lots in 1926. Passing now into the butler's pantry, we can look at these built-ins, and this is just something I find to be absolutely adorable. Let's take a moment to see some of these details, how the legs come out onto the floor to support the shelves, and then just some of the trinkets that are displayed behind the glass cases. Also off of this space is a bathroom, so we'll just take a quick peek in there. And then the conservatory is off to the other side. Once again, we'll just take a quick glance and then we're going to move on to the kitchen. Right here's another detail that we have not seen while exploring these homes in St. Louis. Let's look at the size of these hinges up here on the door. This is just absolutely wild, and we'll get a close-up of this as well. Adjoined to the butler's pantry is the eat-in kitchen, and as we begin to look around this space, we can see that the cabinets, countertops, and appliances are all more modern than the period in which the house was built, and this does provide more modern amenities for the brides who prepare for their weddings in this house. Some of the interesting details that I want to point out in this kitchen are the built-ins below the window ledge here. Also, let's take a moment to see the side door with the privacy glass both in the transom and on the door itself, and then just this really massive piece of hardware here. Now, cutting back across the kitchen, we are going to walk into the stair hall. So come on through here and let's go take a look at what's upstairs. Arriving at the stair landing, we come to this really magnificent space. If we look up directly above me, there's a stained glass window that arches with curved millwork down at the base. Off to either side of me are niches. Each of them are arched at the top and they roll inside of themselves, which just really exaggerates the curvilinear elements that are found in this space. So let's continue on up and start exploring the bedrooms. From the stair landing, we can now go to 3 different places. Directly in front of me is the library and the primary bedroom. Off to this side is the bathroom with the staircase that will take us up to the crow's nest at the top of the tower. But first, let's explore this bedroom. So come on in here and take a look at this. There is a large fireplace. This one is the first painted fireplace we're seeing, and it does not have a summer cover on it. However, it does have some interesting features. So let's take a closer look at this. Now, bringing our gaze back up, we can look out over this room. There are windows on 3 of these walls, which allows a ton of natural light to flood in here. And the only bit of color that we can see incorporated into the architectural elements is the blue bit of crown molding that separates the off-white trim. Cutting now across the stair landing, we are going to walk into the library. So let's begin to really look at this space. There are all of these bookshelves, and these are not built in. These are freestanding pieces of furniture. The desk is set in the middle of the room, and we have windows on 2 of the walls, allowing a lot of natural light to once again flood into the space. Sitting over here on this desk is a piece of the park's history, which is worth mentioning. The bandstands in this park are known to be some of the best in the entire country and possibly the entire world for not only the quality of their construction, but also the quantity. Joined to the library is the primary bedroom, so we are going to pass through this opening. There are closets on either side here, however, we are not going to take a look at those today. So come on through here and let's just look at the space. There are windows once again on 3 sides of the room, allowing tons of natural light to flood in. There are gorgeous panoramic views of the park from here as well. Now we are going to see the part of the home that I've been most excited to show you all. So let's cut back into the stair landing and pivot into this bathroom. So we can just take a quick look at some of the things in here, such as the clawfoot tub and the pedestal sink, and then we're going to follow the staircase up. Arriving at the top of the crow's nest, I am so excited to just open up one of these pairs of plantation shutters and look out to see the view. So let's take a look out this window. And this is just wild. You can see 360-degree views of Tower Grove Park. So absolutely astounding to see the park from this perspective. Thank you all for joining me on this tour. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of this house. I'd also like to tell you about an event coming up here at the park. Tower Grove Park is celebrating its 150th birthday this year, and they have a whole slew of events lined up for June. On June 12th is a very special day. It's called Love in the Park, and I will put more information and a link down in the video description so that you can see what that's all about and plan your trip out there. I'd also like to take a moment to say thank you to our members whose names you can see on screen right now. If you would like to see your name on the screen, please consider joining our membership program today. In the meantime, I'll see you next time on This House.